As we mark the 29th of October 2025, let's pause to celebrate the lives of people we've recently lost and those whose legacies still guide us. This space is all about cherishing their memories and drawing strength from their stories. We'll also reflect on WWE superstar Kyle Fletcher's recent struggles that continue to move his fans. Subscribe now and help us keep their legacies alive. Adrian Adonis, born Keith Franker on September 15, 1954, was an American professional wrestler remembered for his charisma, versatility, and bold personality. He began his career in the 1970s, carving out a name for himself with a tough, biker-inspired persona, complete with leather jackets and a rebellious attitude. This gritty image earned him success in the American Wrestling Association, AWA, and later in the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, now WWE. By the mid-1980s, Adonis completely reinvented himself, embracing the adorable Adrian Adonis character, a flamboyant, eccentric persona that stood out in an era dominated by traditional macho wrestling figures. With bleached blonde hair, colourful outfits, and over-the-top behaviour, he became one of wrestling's most provocative and entertaining villains. His feud with Roddy Piper, highlighted by their heated Piper's Pit segments and their unforgettable match at WrestleMania 3, remains one of the most iconic storylines of the time. Sadly, Adrian Adonis's life and career were cut short when he died in a car accident in Lewisport, Newfoundland, in 1988, at just 33 years old. His passing deeply saddened fans and fellow wrestlers alike. Though his career was brief, his creativity, showmanship, and willingness to challenge norms helped shape the evolution of professional wrestling. To this day, Adrian Adonis is remembered as a pioneer who brought both toughness and flair to the ring. Mean Gene Okerlund, born on December 19, 1942, was one of the most beloved personalities in professional wrestling. Known for his sharp wit, smooth delivery, and unmistakable voice, Okerlund became the face and voice of wrestling's golden era. Before stepping into the wrestling spotlight, he began his career in radio, where his natural charm and ability to connect with audiences quickly stood out. In the early 1970s, Okerlund joined the American Wrestling Association, AWA, where his talent shone brightly. It wasn't long before WWE, then WWF, came calling, and Mean Gene became a household name. His backstage interviews with icons like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Randy Savage, and Ric Flair are still remembered as some of the most entertaining moments in wrestling history. Okerlund had a rare gift for keeping things professional while also embracing the humour and chaos of the wrestling world. Fans adored his quick comebacks, infectious laugh, and memorable phrases like, "Let me tell you something, brother." He brought credibility and personality to every segment, often turning simple interviews into unforgettable entertainment. Gene Okerlund passed away on January 2, 2019, but his legacy lives on through the countless moments he helped create. To this day, he's remembered not just as a broadcaster, but as a cornerstone of wrestling history, a true legend whose voice defined an era. John Tenta, born June 22, 1963, in Vancouver, Canada, was a talented athlete who made his mark in both sumo and professional wrestling. Before becoming famous in the ring, he competed in Japan as a sumo wrestler under the name Kintaro Oki, reaching the rank of Yuryo, an impressive accomplishment for a non-Japanese competitor. In the mid-1980s, Tenta transitioned to professional wrestling, where his career truly took off. In 1989, he joined the World Wrestling Federation, now WWE, and was reintroduced to fans as Earthquake, a powerhouse character known for his size, strength, and signature Earthquake Splash. His dominance quickly made him one of the most feared wrestlers of the early 90s. Tenta's feud with Hulk Hogan became one of the WWF's biggest storylines, culminating in their dramatic showdown at SummerSlam 1990. Beyond singles competition, Tenta also found success in tag team wrestling, joining forces with Typhoon to form the Natural Disasters. The duo captured the WWF Tag Team Championship in 1992, further solidifying Tenta's legacy. Sadly, John Tenta's life was cut short when he passed away on June 7, 2006, at just 42 years old, following a courageous battle with bladder cancer. His strength, humility, and dedication left a lasting impact on fans and peers alike. To this day, Tenta is remembered not only as a powerhouse in the ring, but as a kind-hearted man who gave his all to the sport he loved. Bushwhacker Butch, born Robert Miller on October 21, 1944, in Auckland, New Zealand, was a beloved professional wrestler known for his wild energy and unmistakable charm. He rose to fame as one half of the legendary tag team, the Bushwhackers, alongside his longtime partner and friend, Luke Williams. Together, they became one of the most entertaining duos in wrestling history, captivating fans in the late 1980s and 1990s during their time in the World Wrestling Federation, WWF. Their goofy antics, trademark arm-swinging march, and boundless enthusiasm made them instant fan favourites. Before their WWF fame, Butch and Luke wrestled as the Sheep Herders, a much more aggressive and hard-hitting team that gained respect across New Zealand, Australia, and other wrestling territories. Their early partnership in the 1970s showcased their toughness and chemistry, which later evolved into the lovable, comedic style that defined the Bushwhackers. Butch's infectious personality made him a standout wherever he went. Whether in the ring or outside it, he brought laughter and excitement to everyone around him. Even after his in-ring career slowed, he remained a proud ambassador for wrestling and a cherished figure among fans and peers alike. When Butch Miller passed away at 78, the wrestling world lost a true original, a man remembered not just for his success, but for the joy, humour, and heart he brought to the sport. Kyle Fletcher, born on December 24, 1998 in Sydney, Australia, stands today as one of the brightest young stars in modern professional wrestling. Towering at 1.91 metres and weighing 109 kilograms, he embodies a unique balance of strength, agility, and emotional storytelling that few of his age have managed to achieve. Currently signed to All Elite Wrestling, in AEW, Fletcher is a proud member of the Don Callis family, a faction renowned for its technical brilliance, ambition, and relentless pursuit of dominance. At just 26, Fletcher already holds the AEW TNT Championship, a title that symbolises his relentless determination and his steady climb toward wrestling greatness. Yet, behind the roaring crowds and dazzling lights, his journey has been filled with physical pain, emotional strain, and financial uncertainty. Challenges that have shaped him into the man and athlete he is today. Early beginnings and the dream of wrestling. Kyle Fletcher's passion for wrestling began in the suburbs of Sydney, where he spent countless hours watching the heroes of the sport with childlike awe. He wasn't drawn merely by fame or glory. His fascination lay in the storytelling, the energy, and the emotion that each match carried. Even as a young boy, he dreamed of crafting stories through physical expression, connecting with audiences not just through power moves, but through heart and authenticity. Determined to turn that dream into reality, he joined the PWA Academy, one of Australia's premier wrestling schools. Under the mentorship of trainers like Madison Eagles, Ryan Eagles, Robbie Eagles, and Travis Banks, Fletcher learned that wrestling was as much about discipline and character as it was about physical skill. These mentors instilled in him the values of persistence, humility, and emotional intelligence, qualities that would later define his career. At the age of just 15, Fletcher made his professional debut on April 20th, 2014. His entry into the Australian independent wrestling scene was humble and demanding. Travelling from one small venue to another, often performing for modest crowds, he developed resilience early on. Each match was a lesson, each loss an opportunity to improve. Over time, his reputation grew beyond Australia. Fletcher ventured to the United Kingdom, where he teamed with fellow wrestler Mark Davis to form the tag team Aussie Open. Together, they built an international following with their thrilling chemistry and innovative teamwork. Combining Davis's brute force with Fletcher's agility and precision, Aussie Open quickly became one of the most respected tag teams on the global circuit. The journey to AEW and international recognition. As Aussie Open conquered audiences across Europe and Japan, it was clear that Kyle Fletcher's star was on the rise. His performances in New Japan Pro Wrestling (NJPW) showcased his ability to blend technical mastery with storytelling finesse. Each match was more than a display of athleticism. It was a narrative of struggle, triumph, and emotion. These international experiences not only refined his skill set, but also deepened his understanding of wrestling as an art form. His time in Japan, particularly, exposed him to the discipline and precision that define the country's wrestling culture, shaping him into a more mature and complete performer. Eventually, his global success attracted the attention of All Elite Wrestling, one of the biggest wrestling promotions in the world. Joining AEW marked a major turning point in Fletcher's career. He was no longer just a promising talent from abroad. He was now performing on a stage viewed by millions worldwide. His association with the Don Callis family faction added layers to his persona, allowing him to showcase both his athleticism and his emotional range. Under Callis's guidance, Fletcher tapped into a more ruthless and focused side of himself, evolving from a young tag team specialist into a commanding singles competitor. His determination culminated in winning the AEW TNT Championship, a crowning achievement that validated years of hard work, sacrifice, and persistence. The demands and dangers of the wrestling world. Behind every high-flying move and triumphant victory, professional wrestling hides a demanding and often punishing reality. Wrestlers live on the road, travelling hundreds of miles between shows, enduring physical exhaustion and battling constant risk of injury. For Kyle Fletcher, these challenges have been all too real. The intensity of AEW's schedule, combined with the physical demands of his style, has tested his endurance and mental toughness. One particularly devastating moment came during a match involving veteran Dustin Rhodes. In what was meant to be a routine but intense performance, an unfortunate accident resulted in a severe injury for Fletcher. Though unintentional, the incident underscored just how fine the line between performance and peril truly is in professional wrestling. Fletcher was forced to step away from competition to recover, undergoing weeks of rehabilitation. For a driven athlete still carving his legacy, the forced break was emotionally taxing. He spoke openly about the frustration of being sidelined and the emotional burden of feeling he had let fans and peers down, even though the injury was beyond his control. This period became a profound learning experience, one that taught him the value of patience, balance, and the importance of long-term well-being over short-term success. Health setbacks and the burden of responsibility. As Fletcher continued to rise in AEW, he found himself facing not just personal health challenges, but also the ripple effects of health-related issues within the company. During his tenure as TNT champion, AEW dealt with a string of roster injuries and illnesses that disrupted storylines and title reigns. One of the most emotionally difficult moments came when the company had to temporarily vacate the TNT championship due to concerns surrounding other wrestlers' health, a move that indirectly affected Fletcher's own run as champion. Although the decision wasn't a reflection of his performance, The emotional impact was significant. For a young athlete who had worked tirelessly to earn the title, being stripped of it under such uncertain circumstances was heartbreaking. Yet, instead of reacting with frustration, Fletcher demonstrated maturity and empathy. He publicly supported AEW's decision, emphasizing that the health and safety of his peers came before personal accolades. This response revealed a depth of character that resonated with fans and colleagues alike. It showed that behind his fierce in-ring persona was a thoughtful young man who understood that wrestling at its core is about people and respect. The mental and financial strain of injury and uncertainty. Professional wrestling, despite its fame and spectacle, is a career fraught with financial instability. Wrestlers are often compensated based on appearances and performances, meaning that injuries or time off can have immediate financial consequences. Fletcher's own injuries, coupled with the temporary loss of his championship status, brought these realities into sharp focus. While AEW provided organisational support during his recovery, the absence from regular competition meant fewer opportunities for bonuses and sponsorship engagements. At just 26, Fletcher is still in the process of building his long-term financial foundation. His priorities have always centred on improvement and storytelling rather than wealth accumulation. However, the unpredictability of injuries reminded him that financial security is fragile in the wrestling world. The costs of physical therapy, medical recovery, and personal living expenses during downtime added to the pressure. It was during this time that Fletcher began to speak more openly about the importance of financial planning and mental resilience in professional sports. He acknowledged that the wrestling business, while thrilling, demands a kind of inner strength that goes beyond physical endurance, the ability to stay grounded when uncertainty threatens stability. Resilience, growth, and rebuilding. Fletcher's ability to rebound from adversity has become one of the defining qualities of his career. After recovering from his injuries and regaining full fitness, he approached wrestling with a renewed mindset. His comeback wasn't just about returning to form, it was about evolving as a performer. His wrestling style matured. Once known primarily for his explosive power and high-impact maneuvers, Fletcher began incorporating more storytelling-driven techniques, focusing on pacing and emotion. This evolution reflected a growing awareness that true greatness in wrestling lies not just in physical feats, but in emotional connection. He also became more attentive to self-care and physical conditioning. Rehabilitation taught him that longevity in the sport depends on respecting the body's limits. Fletcher began integrating recovery protocols, nutrition, and mindfulness practices into his daily routine. This holistic approach helped him maintain balance, ensuring that his drive for excellence didn't come at the cost of his health. His evolution as a performer now carries a sense of wisdom far beyond his years, the mark of someone who has faced pain and learned from it. The AEW Brotherhood and Support System. Behind Kyle Fletcher's resilience is a strong support system made up of mentors, peers, and friends within AEW. The Don Callis family has provided a competitive yet supportive environment that pushes him to excel while reminding him of the importance of unity. Senior wrestlers such as Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay have also played pivotal roles in guiding him through the emotional and physical demands of the business. Both veterans understand the pressures of balancing ambition with well-being, and their advice helped Fletcher maintain focus during his toughest times. He has often expressed gratitude for the camaraderie within AEW, a promotion that emphasizes teamwork and mutual respect despite the inherent competitiveness of the business. That sense of brotherhood was especially crucial during his recovery, as his peers constantly reminded him that taking time to heal was not weakness but wisdom. These relationships have grounded him, helping him find purpose beyond championships and titles. Current status and the road ahead today Kyle Fletcher stands strong once again as the AEW TNT champion. His performances continue to captivate audiences, blending technical mastery with heartfelt storytelling. Though he still faces the physical remnants of past injuries and the emotional scars of past setbacks, he carries them as reminders of growth. His resilience is evident in every match, each movement deliberate, each expression real. In recent interviews, Fletcher has become an advocate for mental health awareness within wrestling, encouraging young performers to prioritize balance over burnout. He openly discusses the mental fatigue that comes with fame and the importance of rest, reflection, and personal well-being. His maturity and empathy have earned him respect not only from fans, but also from veterans who see in him the future of professional wrestling, a generation defined by intelligence, compassion, and strength. Legacy in progress. At just 26, Kyle Fletcher's story is still being written. He represents a new kind of champion, one who balances power with vulnerability, confidence with humility. His journey through physical injuries, financial strain, and emotional challenges reveals not weakness, but resilience. Each obstacle has shaped him into a more complete individual and performer. Fletcher's evolution from a young dreamer in Sydney to a world-recognised champion in AEW stands as an inspiration to anyone who has faced adversity in pursuit of their passion. Conclusion. The heart of an Australian champion. Kyle Fletcher's story is a reflection of endurance, growth, and the unbreakable human spirit. From his humble beginnings to the international stage, from injuries to triumphs, he embodies what it means to fight not only for success but for purpose. His health battles, financial uncertainties, and emotional struggles have not diminished his light. They have made it shine brighter. Today, as AEW's TNT champion, Fletcher is more than a title holder. He is a symbol of resilience, representing a generation that understands success isn't just about victories, but about the strength to rise after every fall. His best days, without a doubt, are still ahead, and his journey continues to remind the world that true champions are not defined by how they perform when they are strong, but how they persevere when they are broken.